Perhaps I would open up questions from the floor. Is there anyone would like to ask any one of us a question? Yes, over there.
Thank you. I'm Linda Yara, George Washington University, and I have a question for Mr. Foley, but it also goes into the issue of an area for real donor coordination and collaboration. And that would be to really grapple with the environmental issues that would really be cross-cutting and bring in both the infrastructure issues, the economic development, how to develop in the face of the threat of climate change. But I haven't seen much emphasis on environment as an issue, except for some agriculture extension work. I'd be interested in where that's going with these issues. Thank you.
Yeah, I should respond to it.
Thank you for the question. And you're exactly right. Environmental issues are a serious issue, not only in Burma, but across the region. And we do have a small amount through our regional operations in Bangkok that we do provide in Burma. But the issue is just on a really, frankly, capacity on both sides, and a whole series of issues, the elections and the peace process at Rakhine State, and standing up, helping to stand up this more accountable government, where we just haven't been able to prioritize environment. But it's certainly on our radar, and it's certainly something we continue to look at to determine whether it's time that we can invest those resources around that area. But other donors may be involved in those areas I just don't know about.
All right, any other questions? Yes, right there.
Hello, Richard Koo, Mitsubishi Corporation. I was wondering if some of the speakers could speak a little bit more to U.S. and Japanese donor coordination. It looks like the programs are targeted to very discrete areas, and I was wondering if you could describe what the cooperation is right now, and whether there are any plans in the future to step up that cooperation, and in what areas. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Actually, Japan and USAID have a close communication with each other, and then, but so far, the target seems a little different. I mean, as many people say that main target of JICA or Japan is mainly for the the views on the economic side. Of course, you also have put emphasis on the democratization or freedom or something, but I think USAID is more focusing on the democratization and liberty, freedom of the society, I think. But I think even there is such kind of a differences. We have room for collaboration with each other, like community development. We have a project to the small infrastructure in community areas, and then I think USAID has a project in such areas, and then also currently United States proposed to us some possibility to support women. I mean, the right of women and livelihood of women, and in this area, we will have a collaboration with each other, I think.
Maybe just to further that, so one of the things, particularly from aid, it's very field-driven, and so our programs and activities are in response to the needs of the people of Burma. There's a regular donor coordination process that happens where the donors come together every so often to talk about what they're doing and how can we best coordinate, not to determine here's our priorities, now we're going to do them, but to be responsive to the people. So there's a lot of coordination going on, but when you're getting down to the level of an activity, to coordinate on a specific activity, you do find high transaction costs and different budget cycles, and so that's more problematic.
All right, any other questions? Right? The lady back there, I think, raised her hand.
Yi Fan, size MA candidate. I have a question for Wu Sen Ang. China has already launched Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. What do you expect from that bank, and what do you expect the reaction from your Japanese and U.S. colleagues? Thank you.
China has actually taken all the initiative, of course, as you said, as you correctly mentioned, for the development of the EIIB, which is particularly to focus on infrastructural projects. But at the first time, most of the people in the world got a bit sort of surprised, and at the same time, they share all the concerns about how infrastructural development projects are to be undertaken without having any international standard and best practices to be adopted. When I myself happens to be the chief negotiator of the EIIB, and then the Secretary General of the EIIB chief negotiators process. For the time being, we are in the process of drafting the article of agreements, and happens to be very strong, and also he has been so much exposed to international exposures, and we have got kind of confidence that all these infrastructural development projects that are to be ever financed or to be funded are to be very much in line with international best practices. And there also has been a lot of collaborations with other international financial institutions like ADB, for example. So it is not really too bad, and there are also a lot of signatory founding members, among which a lot of European countries are also coming in. So this is also some initiative that we should be welcoming. Thank you.
Is there one more question? That will be it, I think.
Mike Anderson, retired Foreign Service officer. Mr. Foley, I believe you mentioned USAID has trained 1,000 Burmese or Myanmar journalists. Could you say a little more about how this is done? Is it done directly with private media or in cooperation with the government and government media? And what kind of reaction have you gotten both from private journalists and from the Burmese government?
I can't speak too much in detail, but happy to provide additional information. But our work with the journalists is through the journalist institutions themselves, partnering locally. And we have found a large demand for how to conduct themselves in a responsible way and how to engage in their journalism that has the ability to report on the accuracy and the truth of what's going on in the country. Not with government, it's with NGOs. Right, it's locally, it's not through the government.
All right, thank you very much. My thanks to the panelists.